Hey, I'm live for a little bit. I'm live until I have to go check on Miss T and her babies. Oh, someone's here already. I'm waiting for the bus to pull up. As you probably know, yesterday, the raccoon I've bonded with and been friendly with brought her babies. And I was so excited. I've stayed in the dark. I didn't let them see me because from what I understand about raccoons, they'll be with her for like a year, and then they have to go out on their own. So I don't want them just going up to any human, and then that human freaks out and calls, um, animal control, and then they get put down. So for their own safety, I resist the urge to cuddle them. Hi, here comes the bus pulled up. Angela Mills. Hi, I met Angela. Angela and I kikied at a Starbucks. It was really fun. It was awesome meeting you, Angela. Kim Z, Cupcake Realty, Shanoa. Hey, Shanoa. I hope you get that book soon. Emily Hollis, Justin Graves, Manders Beauties, Ashley Armstrong, Manders Beauties, Darcy. Hi. Annie Mac, Cupcake, Jelena's Randomness. Hey, everybody. Bernie Ravencraft, Danielle. Hi, Danielle. Poisonous Paradox, Chelsea Minton, Melissa Dawn, and Jen Gerard. Hi from you and Yogi. Oh, give Yogi's big Buick head some love from me. Southern Pixie, hey. Snow White. The Baby Raccoons Lorna song, I am looking forward to seeing them again. I was really so tempted because they're like little miniature versions of her. My son had a dream last week that he had 3 raccoons on his chest, and he said it was like somebody copy and pasted and shrunk images of Miss T, my friend raccoon. And sure enough, there were 3 of them. She has 3 babies. They can have 3 to 5. In some instances, they'll have another litter in July. So let's hope she's not like, this is the best prime spot, like Raccoon Camelot in my backyard where she might have more. Let's hope not. But the babies are so cute, and I want to pet them. Babies are friendly, but I don't. For their safety, I stay back. And believe me, it's not easy. I've seen these videos where people have like the cutest seal get up on their boat or something. I'm like, pet that thing. It's got its head on their leg, and they're not touching it because they're told not to. Hell no, I would pet it. But in this instance, because it's not good for them to not be afraid of humans, I'm trying not to be seen. Yeah, Zach's in love with them, Kim Z. And what's funny is I was very proud of myself for not going, oh, boo, because they're just adorable. These little raccoon faces looking around. They're so cute. And I was tempted, but I didn't. And I went upstairs, and a short while later, they were gone. I thought they were gone for the night. Poor Miss T, it's like, the expression wrangling kittens. It needs to be wrangling raccoons, because she'd be eating, and one would be like, I'm going to go off the deck into the dark. And she'd be like, oh, go and get it. And then she'd come back. She's like, stay here, stay here, stay here. And they're like, I'm going to go this way. They go off in different directions. Now I know how my mother felt with 10 kids. They'd run in different directions. And then, oh, that's awesome. Jen said she showed Miss T to her hairdresser. Yeah, everybody's in love with Miss T. She looks like a cartoon. She doesn't even look like a real raccoon. But yeah, she was exhausted. So I go upstairs. Zach sends me a text, and it's a baby raccoon looking right at the camera. I'm like, no, Zach. He's like, too late. It saw me. I was busted. He was in the sunroom getting coffee or something. And that we have like it's a very unfortunate kitchen, the layout of my home, but it's like your kitchen's here and it's small. And then there's a sunroom off to the side, and that's where we put the coffee station and the microwave and stuff. And it kind of works as extending it, because it doesn't really have any other use, but it's got the sliding glass doors, and they like to look right in. Like, I have been tidying the kitchen at night after I've spent time with Miss T. I'll tidy the kitchen. I'll be putting stuff away, and I'll look over, and she's just looking at me, watching me. Sometimes she'll lay with her head down, and she's watching me tidy. It's really funny. Haven't seen you do a love in a while. Oh, a live. I know. I haven't done a live in a while. And one of the reasons I got the idea is that somebody had commented on an old video of mine. Who remembers Beverly? I did Better Than Nothing help with Beverly. and I forgot all about it. And Zach comes in and he hears me laughing at myself. I'm like, I am a delight. Beverly was very unqualified and very money grubbing. He was a funny character. But I also wanted to go live because Jen remembers Beverly. Beverly should give quarantine advice, right? To help all the poor slobs out there who don't know how to, stay confined. Can you stay home for 5 minutes? But I saw some people were commenting under my video yesterday. And sometimes people have a little trouble with my channel because I don't stick my flag in the ground in a way that they can comprehend. And people create these dichotomies where if you don't like this, you absolutely have to like this. Which team are you on? We could wear colored pennies, I guess, if you're Team Jeffrey or not. But the thing is, like I tried to explain to someone, I'm not a fan of it. Hi, Caitlin, my friend. I'm not a fan of Jeffrey, but I'm a fan of the truth. Whose side am I on? Mine. And just because I believe that a lot of these things are true about him doesn't mean that I'm going to automatically like this person. I woke up today and I don't know. I mean, things are still unfolding. I don't really know this person, Tab. But I woke up. Have you ever just woken up and you just had a thought that you didn't have the day before? You have like kind of an epiphany. I woke up and I was like, he didn't know how to say Rich Lux. Did he really? He said he wasn't going to mention any names, but he mentioned his. And then he stumbled over his name. It's not that difficult a name. Like, it's this guy, Rich Lex Luthor. Was it Lex Luthor? Was it Rich? Yes, Rich Lux. And yes, Caitlin, I did. I'm mad that you didn't get a notification. Hey, Melissa Pellegrin, how are you doing? And Sarah orphaned a baby raccoon. Oh, you lucky. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if something got orphaned, although I don't wish for that to happen. But if something gets orphaned, I will take care of it. I'm looking to see if there are any Joeys. Opossums will have more babies than they need. I'll switch right back between drama and raccoons. Probably a lot of you are here for the raccoons. Come for the drama, stay for the raccoons. My channel might change. I'll be like that lion whisperer guy. No, I'm going to be like the grizzly man. My Twitter name, need to share the most insane info. Oh, my Twitter is Nosy Housefrau. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And I think there's a link on my regular page. It's in my, you know what? If you go to my last video, my Twitter is in there as well. People need to go back to the old days. When I was young, we checked description boxes. We checked the description box and we were glad to have it. So, yeah, I'm looking for a Joey. If it falls off, I'm going to take care of it because opossums are so sweet and almost never have rabies because they're just naturally immune with their low body temperature and they're just sweet. That's cute, Caitlin, a pouch potato. That's what you call a lazy kangaroo. Cute. Yeah, I get like really nerdy about opossums. I have way too many opossum facts stuck in my head. I'll just sort of be like, somebody will be like, I saw a video where this guy's like, oh, they have 52 teeth and da-da-da. And I was like, excuse me? They have 50 teeth. It is the opossum, not the possum, which is its Australian cousin. It is the only marsupial known to North America. And they have 50 teeth that they rarely use. And yeah, if I had been able to retain high school information the way I can random critter facts, I would have been a doctor had I not been queasy. So yeah, I like that everybody wants to talk about opossums more than the drama. I just wanted to clear that up, that I don't really hate anybody in this scenario, but I believe this guy, but I do want to hear the other side. And I think that there's something that we're not hearing about the motivation for this. And well, if it's dark, don't post it. Jenny says it's dark and it might trigger. I don't know. I can handle a lot of stuff. I'm a tough bird. As long as is it anything about children or the elders? Everybody come up with one. Oh, Caitlin says they had jeans and jokes day. Everyone comes up with one joke. I come up with 5 in a whole bit. I'm ridiculous. I have a joke. Do you want to hear it? I told this joke to Dustin Hoffman and he hadn't heard it yet. Oh, hang on. Let me get that name I just dropped. Anyway, two lady, Gloria and Estelle are sitting on the porch. And she says, Saul bought me a dozen long-stemmed roses. You know what that means? Ida. It was Ida. You know what that means, Idala? I'm going to have to sit I'm going to have to be all weekend because he bought me flowers. I'm going to have to have my legs wide open and up in the air. And Ida looks at her and goes, you don't have a vase? Oh, I am becoming the raccoon queen, yes. Yeah, but I'm afraid I'm going to become like the grizzly guy. Remember the grizzly guy, that poor thing that he was mentally ill and he kept thinking that the bears needed him and eventually one ate him. He kept being like, I will die for these bears. I will die for these. I will die for these. And he thought they were all his friends, but they weren't. I'm afraid of being like that with Miss T. I'm afraid of being Miss T likes me. We're friends. But she really does like me. She's a bear. Raccoons are cousins to the bear. I don't know if you know this, but raccoons are cousins to the bear. And so they act like little bears. And I expect her to be so, hi, Christina, neighbor. Christina Steinmetz, also in Toledo. Yeah, I expect, she acts like a little bear, so I expect to not be able to have any more than her consider me a food source. But something happened with her somewhere along the line. She's not a normal raccoon. She doesn't look like a normal raccoon. She doesn't do normal raccoon things. She acts a little bit more like a cat. Yeah. So, and you guys, I went to CVS, by the way. Tomorrow, 9:00, and this is one of the reasons I have to go, not just because Miss T, I have to get Miss T footage that I put up every night. Like, I feel like if I don't, I'm letting people down. But hi, Carmen. I won't tell anybody. I won't tell anybody that you're at work. So they had this in the store again, right after my friend Christine shoot. Check out her channel day by day. She was so nice. She's like, you had a hand sanitizer? I have some. And she sent me, she's such a doll. And she has a great channel that she's just starting. She could use the support. She has a special needs daughter, and she's a really good mom. And yeah, and a good friend. And she sent me hand sanitizer. And of course, I go into the store and they have everything. And I bought even a bottle of Barefoot Pinot Noir. And I might do a tipsy tea time tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe Beverly will. Lake Erie trash pandas. Yeah, a lot of people call them trash pandas. They look like them. There's a new guy that looks a lot like a panda. So Zach named him Po, like the Kung Fu Panda. So his name is Po. I thought it was Plus One, which is my name for this other one that comes up, another little female, but it's not. So we'll see. He was okay till he brought his girlfriend to live with him and the bears. Well, Sarah, he made a few mistakes. One was he stayed way too long into the season where the bears were very, very hungry because the salmons had died out. There had been drought at one point, so the bears were extremely hungry. They never looked at him as a friend. He did survive there a long, long time. It's actually a good documentary, and it's on Amazon right now. If you have Prime, it's free with Prime, and it's called The Grizzly Man. And I watch that, and every time I watch it, I just think it's so unfortunate and so sad that he had a lot of problems. Justin, they didn't play the audio of him being killed. Thank goodness. Unless you heard it somewhere else. They don't play it anywhere. They describe it. The Werner Herzog. Did I say that wrong? Werner Herzog. He's just amazing, and his voice is amazing. But he listens to it in front of the ex-girlfriend who says she's never listened to it. She's never going to listen to it. He had a cap on the camera, thankfully, so it was only audio. And it's almost worse having it described to you. How he's telling her get away and stuff, and she doesn't. She stayed with him. Oh, no, Caitlin, you have fleas. No. Fleas, put some salt down. You might think that's weird, but if you have fleas, put salt around because it rips their shell off and kills them. And of course, Downy. I cannot live with fleas. So even the cat that's outside, she gets flea medicine. She needs some right now, actually, but I'll get some. Can't support Amazon as they pay crap and have no COVID security. That's a shame. I actually don't like the fact that they don't temperature control their factories. That's a problem. And then if you drop dead, somebody drops dead, you got to step over them and get that dang box out. They don't even let people go to the bathroom. It's like a slavery. Hi, Ephelon, Lady Ephelon. Aphelion. Yeah, fleas are bad once you get them. That's why we are preventative with that. Maria, thank you. You're so sweet. I'm going to use that to buy raccoon food because Carrie's critters needs a little help. I have cats to get flea medicine on. I need to make. Oh, somebody told me they were going to give me money to make a she shed for the raccoon, but you don't need to do that because I have the materials and I'm going to use recycled windows to make her an enclosure before next winter. Female raccoons will come back to the same place every year. So if you like Miss T, you'll see lots of her because she'll be back. She may have been here a season before and I just didn't know, but she looks pretty young to me. She might be a couple of years old and maybe this is her. There was a couple of years ago, a raccoon on the deck with small raccoons. And I was like, oh, please just be visiting and get out of here. And there was one raccoon that looked back at me and I felt like that might have been Miss T, but I don't know. She could have been the mom. I really have no way of knowing, but yeah, you have 3 traps and you have the collars and they both have vet appointment Monday to see if they can get an RX. Oh, okay. Oh, good. That's good. They do have a flea shot that kills them like within 30 minutes. They'll all be gone, but spray some around your house, some salt, sprinkle salt. That will be helpful too. You can get rid of them. You can get rid of bathing every day, vacuuming 5 times a day. Okay. And then they can go in your vacuum and live there too. So make sure you get rid of that as well. Put stuff in there, put salt. Did I mention salt? Yeah, that helps too. But the bathing with the Downy is really helpful. Dove. I don't know what I'm thinking, but Dawn. Thank you, Donna. My faculties are slipping. Yeah. So if anybody had any questions about the video I put up yesterday, let me know. But I just like these little impromptu chit chats as well. To CVS with my mask on. There's almost nobody in the store. And there's this little boy. His mom was like a few rows down or something. And he kind of came out really fast. And I said, I'm sorry, honey. And he looked at me. Have you ever seen a kid who looks at you like the attention just did so much for him? So I go up to the register and I got the 6 feet apart or whatever. And I turn around and he's right there. I love children, but I don't always love to be around children. Do you know what I mean? I do and I don't. So I'm not a really patient woman. So I'm like, it's almost like that person in the room that cats don't like cats. And so they go to them. This kid was just like, anything that needs a mommy will glob onto me. And so he was right there. There was this kid who cut his knee in my yard, in my driveway. He would come up and down my driveway and I would talk to his sister. Oh my gosh, this little girl was so sweet. She talked about books and she was like 10 years old and she was really, really smart. I was like, she's smarter than me and she's 10. But then he would ride his bike up and down. And I'd say hi, you can have an ice cream, whatever. And I didn't like the loudness of children. I don't like the loudness and the screaming, and yet they're magnets for my house. They're magnets. I don't even have a little kid here. I no longer even have a dog here. My driveway is the driveway. I got to turn around. So he skins his knee. And I was like, oh no, and it's someone else's child. You don't just go up and touch someone's child, even though I'm a mom and everybody trusts a mom. I said, do you want to go home and have your mom fix that? And he's sitting there and he goes, I said, you want me to do it, don't you? He's like, okay. So I go inside and I get my kit and I fuss over him and I put the Band-Aid on. And I guess he needed that, I can totally relate. I needed more mothering when I was a kid. If I scraped my knee, it was like, put a compress on it. You won't bleed out. Clean it off. It's good for you. My mother had an heir and a spare, and she was from, the Depression era. So if you had your arm half severed off, it's like, go get the sewing kit. You know where it is. You'll be fine. Walk it off. Josephine. Oh, you know what, Josephine? I wish I could put it up here. I'm going to send it to you on Twitter. I was looking at bedding yesterday. Sometimes I window shop online and I saw bedding because I've been hanging on to this bedding because my mother-in-law gave it to me, the blue thingy. And my husband doesn't like flowery stuff, and I like flowery stuff. So the bed needs a facelift. So I was just window shopping for fun. And I saw a pineapple bedspread set. And it was really cute. And it didn't look like, massive pineapples. It just almost looked like it had like small, beautiful, like a wreath type of thing with pineapples in it, sporadically. No notification. That is bull. Hey, Nick. Caitlin Bent says Band-Aids fix all in this house. Yeah, I have to go for my antibodies test. Jen Gerard's best friend just showed up. Yes, Joe, I'm going to send you a picture of it. It's really cute and affordable and very pretty. And it's got pineapples and like I said, I'll put it on my Twitter. You know what? I'll put it on Twitter so everybody can see it. But I thought of you. Tomorrow at 9:15, I have to go for my antibodies test. I thought it was last Saturday when I first got the confirmation, but I'm blind in one eye and can't see out of the other. So I was wrong. It's tomorrow, the 13th. So there's a lot of celebrating. So yeah. Yeah, no, you'll love it. It was so funny. I was like, maybe it'll be one of those things because I know you like pineapples. But what happens when you collect something is that, because this happened to my sister, she loved penguins. And then every time somebody thought of her, it was penguins, and they gave her penguins, but she loved it. And some people don't want it. They're like, look up the Green Lady of Brooklyn on YouTube. I love her. And she's got a lot of my favorite greens in there. And I love people who draw outside the lines. There are people on YouTube who live in a certain era. Like there's somebody who just wants to live in the 1800s. So they do. They make their own 1800s clothes. They're just like, I'm like, is there an 1800 convention where you pull up in your horse and carriage? I think we found a niche. Okay, this is my favorite tall glass of water. Everybody loves Nick. You collect everything roosters. So Poisonous Paradox, since you collect roosters, do you ever feel like you're all roostered out? Or are you like always letting your rooster flag fly? You want, you have your rooster coffee in the morning out of your rooster coffee cup with your rooster spoon. Because I think that's cool. I think you should surround yourself with what you like. And I tend to be too minimalist. And I'm like, if I put more stuff on the walls that makes me happy to look at, that's an instant mood elevator. If you like a certain scent, get some aromatherapy. Like I need to be more sourceful that way. You used to collect cows, Jen? Did you have like cow prints too? Like cow prints everywhere? That is so funny. I like cows. There was somebody, I haven't seen her in a while. Now that you mention it, there was somebody called Moo. Somebody really into cows on. Does everybody remember who that is? And I have not seen her. You just made me remember that. Comanex says, what did I even walk into? We're talking about collecting and colorful people on the interwebs. It started out about drama, but everybody is obsessed with the raccoon. I did this Jeffrey Tab video yesterday, and like one of the comments was like, you're the only person on the internet I can ask this. And I was like, oh, what is this going to be about? The drama? I might not know about it. And all of a sudden I look down and it's like, how do I get the raccoons to stop eating out of the garden? It's like, you can. They're looking, she's like, why did they dig it up? I'm like, they're looking for grubs. So a lot of stuff. Oh, you collect ladybugs, Melissa? That's pretty cool. You collect gargoyles? Like around your building? SD collects music. Some people do collect records and things like that. I had a friend who had every single Beatles album and then some that were on a different label. He had those as well. And he came across some stuff in New York that they were selling that had been stolen from John Lennon's apartment. And it had like John Lennon's notes on it. He had that tucked in there because he snatched that up. And I don't know why he didn't return it, but I can't ask him. And he had a huge stuff. Oh, you collect shark stuff? This is interesting. I can't believe there's so many people who collect stuff. April collects gargoyles too. You're going to be at a gargoyle convention. You've been recommending those Victorian, recommended. Justin, they do always want us to watch that stuff. I'm like, I've seen how to make butter in the 1800s. I don't need to see them make the butter again. But I am interested in that woman who actually gets so into character that she makes stuff for the Lord and Lady of the house. And she's in the outfit, and those videos do very well. That's quite a business. I've been into the Chateau Diaries. I watched this woman who bought Chateau Leland in France when she was 29. And she just like has done more and more and more with it and turned it into a business. It's really fun to watch. You could do work away there. He collects farts in jars to anonymously send to all of his haters. That's just lazy. You can't shit. Oh no, Cat D. Monet. Which of the Black Rose collects books? A lot of people collect books. I've never been a collector, but I get like the appeal sometimes. It's just nice to have stuff that you like. I've never been a collector, but I do have movie memorabilia for Zach. I've collected over the years, stuff that was given to me on sets. Stuff I had some stuff stolen. That was something I was talking to somebody else about earlier because we were talking about Rich Lux being robbed. Which, by the way, I really, and maybe doesn't want to think about this right now, but I really think there are signs of an inside job there. Did you watch the video that, if you haven't seen it, it's on Rich Lux's channel. This guy who's limping, has a very distinctive limp, goes into the bedroom, and as he walks in, you see him look exactly where the camera is. Doesn't look anywhere else. He looks exactly where it is, and he turns it over. And he's acting very amateurish, and yet, like, he doesn't move through very quickly with purpose. He's kind of poking through, and yet forced entry. He randomly chose this apartment when Rich is out of town and can get in as if he has a key, for all we know, and knows exactly where the cameras are and just turns them around. But then took his time, like, looking around, and only took 2 things. And people are saying, why would you only take 2 things? I'll give you a scenario. You want to hear my conspiracy, allegedly? You take 2 things when somebody likes the person and doesn't want to take everything and says, just take this and this because I know I can get that for this. And those were specific things that they were looking for. The reason they didn't take anything else is because possibly somebody didn't have the heart to rob everything. But it just to me seemed like it, because it is a secured building, allegedly. But I was pretty pissed off that somebody posted on Twitter like, oh, there's a problem with his story. F you, he got robbed. You're going to accuse him of lying? There's a police report. He knew people were going to do that. So he's like, if you think I'm lying, here's the police report. People want to call him a liar anyway. Like, it's just a-holes. So yeah, that bothered me. You could tell he was shaken, and it's just such a violating feeling. When I was living in Tennessee, we moved out of this place, and I went back to check for some stuff. And I went in the back. For some reason, I never went in the back door, but I thought I saw that the back door was open a little. And so I went. We lived at this point, with very brief time, we were living in a trailer, a pop-up home. So I go into the back of it, and there's a guy in the living room. It's dark, so at first I don't see him. And the door closes, and I see him standing there, and just the shadow. I can still, to this day, see the shadow of him. And like for a split second, there's this terror, like, this is how it ends. This is the last thing I see. What's going to happen to me? How am I in danger? And yeah, exactly. Why would somebody lie about that? And so he ran out the other door, and I'm pretty sure it was an old neighbor guy who was kind of weird and realized that we weren't around and just thought he could loot. And the TV was gone. Some memorabilia were gone. This note that Natalie Portman wrote and drew a doodle for my son, that was a card that I was saving for him. It was in a box with things that celebrities had written to him, and they took it. Thank God I had already removed this book that I had from Megorium's that has all these notes in it from the people on the set, and certain things that meant a lot to us, like the hat and certain thing he wore in that somebody gave to me. Like, there was a lot of memorabilia I still have. I still have the Heelys, if you've seen that movie that he rides around with. But just for the longest time, I had like post-trauma over that. Like, I was afraid of my shadow. We went to California to get his some money to go home or something, and his card had expired. And I just simply could not accept no for an answer, because I needed some more money to get home, and I had put money of mine in this account, thinking at the credit union it was safer and we could just get it there. And the lady in the credit union was so nice to me because she made calls because I was just crying in her office. Like I just got robbed. I just like, I couldn't handle anything else bad happening to me. I was just like, it was another thing to be afraid of. And like, I don't know, normally I have really good coping skills, but at this time I was falling apart, and thank goodness for this lady who took pity on me. I don't ever want to cry in front of my child, but he saw me in tears. And so she was like, oh no, we know Zach, don't worry about it. And so that was really nice that somebody helped me, but it was scary. It was really scary. I've had a couple of scary things happen. You adjust. Somebody told me, a friend of mine who got held up at a movie theater right after I left, thank goodness. And my two friends were put on the ground, put your hands behind your head, get on the ground, which is really scary because often that means you're going to be executed. But these guys mugged them, but they were really dumb because my friends saw them very clearly and were able to pick them out of a line. They were arrested pretty quickly, and then they had to go to court over it. But they handled it really well. And my one friend said that you're terrified at first, but then you adjust, you adapt. But to me, I felt like just to see that the form of a man there that was completely still, I didn't know what was going to happen, And I think I said, get the F out of here. And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, you might have to fight to the death. And if something happens to me, he's going to at least get hurt. But you're just so terrified. That's why I feel bad when I see the animals looking around like they're afraid of something. I'm like, I couldn't live that way every day. Jen, you had stuff missing from your house. You're not going to believe this. I have a friend who's blind, and she just went to get into her and can you imagine stealing from a blind person? She had stuff stolen. Poor woman has been through everything, and she's so funny. She's so sweet. She's like, Carrie, if you want to go somewhere, I'll be your lookout. She's really funny. I helped her. We met online and stuff, and I think we have a mutual friend. Is it a friend? Yeah, we have a mutual friend. I have a friend who works on this radio station, and she knew her because my other friend is legally blind, and this person is blind. And so I said, I'll go over and help her, and I helped her put stuff in her. I tell you, sometimes the smallest thing you can do for people makes them so happy. I made her a quiche. This is what I do when I don't know what else to do people. I make them quiche, and I brought her a quiche, and she said that she was able to have her grandchildren come over and feed them something like homemade as if she had made it. It made her feel like $1 million to give them and they loved it. It was just a quiche. Hey, Devil Wears Chocolates. It was just a quiche, but for her, it was giving her some independence and giving her memories with her grandchildren. And they'd be like, can I have that quiche again? Or we have that pie, or we call it. And every once in a while, I bring it over to her. She's amazing. And she lost so much weight, and she can't see that, but she can feel it. So she still likes the way she looks in her clothes. So it was difficult for her to have something missing. It is quite a feeling of a violation. Elena says, I think Teresa Romo was involved. No, she wasn't. Stop that. I'm approachable. Actually, Amy says my husband is legally blind. Yeah, that's difficult. And it's just, Emily says my sister's home was broken into a few months ago. I was so grateful she was not home at the time with my 4-year-old. Yes, that's the scariest thing is like, thank gosh you weren't home. People have gotten killed just for being home when they weren't supposed to be. It happens all the time. So when I was in that house, I remember thinking, there's a moment when things go wrong where you're just like, I wish I was anywhere but here. And that sucked. Well, it is 9:53, and I have to get up early because I have a 9 body's appointment. I already tested negative for COVID, which we kind of knew. Kimberly, she would have no reason to do that. Somebody says she's posting shopping videos. Oh my. Yes, thank you for reminding me. I need to leave another message on Dee's voice machine as Teresa. I like to do that to her. Oh yes, I'm approachable. I've got excellent ideas for your channel. I'm not saying this to hurt your feelings, but support. If you think money isn't everything, it's hard to tell you. You're poor. It says nope. Oh, yeah, it was wonderful seeing all of you. I'm going to go check on my raccoons to see if I can get some footage. And then I have to get ready to get up in the morning and get blood drawn. Not fun, but at least I got my sanitizer. And I might do a tipsy tea time soon. So thank you so much for joining me. It's always fun to go live and engage with you guys. I missed this. So we'll do it again soon. Good night, everybody.